Good afternoon, my fellow family, friends, and colleagues. It's your girl, Dr. Charity, aka the Queen of Divas, and I'm here to give you your weekly encouragement on today. Well, on this beautiful, gorgeous, illustrious, beautiful, blessed afternoon, I hope all that is tuning in to me on today has, I hope and pray and just wish upon a million stars that everybody is tapping into it. Tapping into it. Tapping into it. Somebody out there may be saying, for what? I feel like I'm just wasting my time. Well, I have already told you and encouraged you before. It's not in vain. It's not in vain. That's the purpose of tapping into it. You're tapping into it, as I've told you over and over again this year, of the year of 2024. You are not waiting on it. It's waiting on you. You have to make sure you are front and center, focused, and ready to dive in. The time to get ready is not 10 years or when I feel like it. The time to get ready is right now. Right now as I am speaking, under the sound of my voice. If that is what you rightfully desire and deserve and you know it, then the time to move is not later. The time is now. For tomorrow, your very tomorrow could be very well today. Tomorrow is not promised. Anyway, so I said all that to say this. I hope everybody is tapping into it, because you're not waiting on it. You're not waiting to see if it's going to come your way. It's already came your way. It's already on your trail. But because you're not where you need to be, that's why you're missing it right now. So, be reminded to tap into it. Do whatever it is. Take the step. And on today, I got a gorgeous, an empowering weekly empowerment to give you a boost, to give you some empowerment and motivation for those who feel like, I just don't have it no more. I just don't have it no more. I don't know where do you get this from, Dr. Charity? Okay, anybody out there? Anybody out there feel like in that Valley series that you're at your the last ounce of everything? You're on the last, it just seems like everything just happening left and right, front and center, all around you, and there's no break. And it seems like every time you try to come up and get back into the game, something comes and knocks you back down, taking you under. Before you get to come up to gasp for air, you're already going back under the drown. Anybody feel like that? Anybody feel like that? Feel like the lack of motivation and the energy and the faith and all the hope and all of that on the inside is just drained out? It ain't nothing else left down there. It ain't nothing left down there. It ain't not an ounce to give. Just feel like they done been just drained out. Ain't nothing else to give. Anybody feel like that? Feel like that you're at the last bit of it? Feel like it's nothing but surrounding you but negativity and bad and ugly? Not one good promise in sight. Anybody feel that? Anybody feel that? Because if that's you today, then you're who I'm speaking to. I am here to empower you today and give you a weekly encouragement to give you just a little bit of motivation that what you're seeing is not the end. What you're experiencing is not the end. It is not the end of the story. It is just the very beginning. It is just, as I've told you before, the transition and the process. Oh, your promise is still there. Matter of fact, your promise is closer than you think. But if you feel like that is you today, that's tuning in, I'm at the low end of the totem pole. I don't have nothing else to give. I'm just at a breaking point and that's it. I don't know what to do. Everything is just going wrong. Ain't nothing going right. Anybody feel like that? I want you to lend me your ear today. Tune in to me just for a few moments. Just a few moments. Right now. If I had to give this weekly encouragement a title, it would be simple. It would be face the pain, for new beginnings are nigh. Let that resonate for a minute. Face the pain, for new beginnings are nigh. Somebody out there may be saying, well, Dr. Charity, face what pain? What new beginnings? Hold on for a minute. My life is so in shambles. Ain't nothing new coming. I don't even know I understand how anything new can come in that. And then, who faces pain? I'm glad you asked. I'm glad you asked. I am here. That's exactly what I'm here for. To encourage you to face the pain. We as human beings, let's jump into it for a minute. We as human beings, when we are faced with a lot of times when pain come, trauma come, which is nothing but the process, as I've spoken before, and the transition phase that you go to, that you got to go to and go through, endure through to get to the other side, to get to your promise. But a lot of times, we as human beings are expecting smooth sailing. You expecting once you get the promise that I'm just going to take one footstep and there it go. And when it doesn't work that way, then we have a tendency as human beings to be scared of the pain. Don't want to deal with the process. Ooh, in that case, I don't think that was meant for me. Maybe God didn't want me to have this. No, it ain't that God didn't want you to have it. It's not that it won't promise to you. It's that you got to go through the transition. You got to go through the process to gain it, because the best is never given easily. As I've told you before, if you want the Tesla, you got to have Tesla money. You can't give Toyota money and expect a Tesla. And the same thing even in life. You can't sit here and want the best and expect to go through nothing but pure lack of stress. If you are going for the best, you best believe you're going to have to deal with some stress, and I'm going to put a little bug in your ear, the most stress. But today, the encouragement is empowering you that stress, that experience, that being knocking down over and over again, the being battered, the being damaged, the being heartbroken on the inside is not in vain. That is nothing but a preview that whatever that promise is for you is closer than you think. That's your preview. That's your confirmation that the promise is closer than you think. That new beginnings are nigh. Let me put a little bug in your ear. Here you go. Listen to this one. Take this to heart, even as you go through the week of this week. This week right here, I want you to take this to heart. You do realize that once it gets worse, the worse it gets means the closer the promise. God is just testing himself with his good self. All he's doing is making room for it. He's just excavating, testing you, making sure you're ready, and getting rid of old stuff that you got that you refuse to get ready and get rid of yourself. The enemy, with his happy-go-lucky self, is just sitting there bashing you because he don't want to see you obtain the blessing and the promises waiting on you. But I told you today that the rougher and the harder it gets means the closer is it, meaning your promise. So take that to note. Take that to heart. That I'm closer than I think. The more I'm seeing, the more it means something really is coming to my door. Something about to be knocking on my door. And I'm about to open that door, and it's going to be an overflow. As I put on one of my stories on last night, still singing at Tasha Cobb's Leonard. I'm ready for overflow. I'm getting ready for overflow. God, you can blow my mind, because eyes haven't seen, ears haven't heard, neither has it entered the heart of man what God has in store for me. And that includes you too. Get ready. Face the pain. Today, as you go and begin this week, be motivated that regardless of what life and the enemy and even God himself throws at you, face it out. Because your promise is on the other side. Do not run away from it. Do not stray away from it. Do not turn away from it. Because that is how you're getting away from your very promise. Face it, because there's new beginnings right on the other side of this process. I'm going to give my own personal testimonial says, just last week, in one day, about 4 things happened at one time in one day. We're not talking about, falling out the bed, tripping over a step, scraping a knee on the sidewalk, and then, breaking a fingernail or something. We talking about some serious things that if I told somebody, they'd be looking at me like, and you still able to do something like this? Girl, it sound like you need to encourage me yourself. Well, I did. But thanks be to God, nobody but God, that I'm still here. But by the end of the week, after I meditated and prayed and thought and read and studied and cried and screamed and went into solitude, I made up my mind. I said, you know what? I'm not going down. I waited too long for this. Yes, he can test me. God can test me. And this Satan himself can come in. But guess what? My promise is not going down. And I'm not going down without having my promise. I'm going to be just like a Jacob. And I'm going to wrestle until the angel lets my promise go. You're going to bless me right now. And that's what I decided to do. And that's what I'm doing now. And that is to you as well today. Face the pain, for your new beginning is nigh. Do not miss out because of the strain and what you got to go through. Endure it, as I've told you before. Endure it and face it out. Because on the end, the only reason why you're suffering so big is because there's something bigger on the other side for you that your mind cannot even process and or imagine. So today, I'm telling you, face the pain. Go out there, and no matter if it takes the last ounce of blood, the last blood, sweat, and tear in your body, the last bit of energy and motivation and faith, take it and take it by force. Go out there and go get yours. Don't worry, you'll get rejuvenated, you'll get replenished. God got you, because with God on your side, look, with him before you, who can be against you? That's the question. So today, I want you to go out there and face it, knowing that new beginnings are nigh for you right now. The time is not later, your time is now, because the tide is about to turn. You may be hurting right now, just like I am, but guess what? It can't rain all the time, and the sun's got to come out along with that rainbow. And the rainbow is about to have all 8 colors where you ain't going to have no words to explain what's going on. You're going to be left speechless. So, the time what to do now is to go out there and face the pain. For you know that new beginnings, your new beginnings, are now. Well, that's all that I have for you on today, but tune in next week for another weekly encouragement. Subscribe to Lady Superwoman on YouTube at Lady Superwoman 9999 for all of your weekly encouragements. And remember, I love and appreciate every last one of y'all, but God loves you more. And also remember, beginning on today, to face out the pain. Regardless of what it takes, face it out, because new beginnings are nigh just for you, and it's bigger than you could ever imagine. I love you. See you next week. Bye.